A friend can mean the world to someone, enriching her life by providing support, happiness, and a sense of belonging. This unique bond is built on trust, loyalty, and mutual affection, and it can profoundly impact an individual's well-being. The profound impact of a friend. Emotional support. A true friend is there during both good times and bad, offering a shoulder to cry on, a listening ear, and comfort when needed most. They help people cope with difficult life events like illness, job loss, or the death of a loved one. Improved well-being. Friendships have a positive effect on mental and physical health. They can reduce stress, alleviate depression, and boost happiness, self-confidence, and feelings of self-worth. Sense of purpose and belonging. Friends raise an individual's sense of connection and purpose, helping them feel less alone in the world. They can become a chosen family, knowing a person's heart more than anyone else. Personal growth. A friend offers a fresh perspective, honest opinions, and encouragement to help a person grow and avoid unhealthy habits. They challenge each other to be the best possible version of themselves. Lasting connection. A friend for life is a highly valued concept, signifying a deep, committed relationship that withstands the test of time, distance, and life's challenges. In essence, friends add color, flavor, and immense meaning to life, making the journey more beautiful and memorable. The question "Do you have any extra electro?" presents a fascinating linguistic and conceptual challenge, as the term electro is highly ambiguous without further context. To provide a comprehensive and detailed explanation, we must explore the various established meanings of electro across different academic disciplines, drawing exclusively from authoritative print encyclopedias, published nonfiction books, academic journals, and dictionaries. Etymological roots and core meanings. The term electro is a combining form derived from the Greek word elektron, lambda epsilon kappa tau rho omicron nu, which originally referred to amber. The ancient Greeks observed that when amber was rubbed, it acquired the ability to attract light objects. This phenomenon was later understood to be a manifestation of static electricity. Oxford English Dictionary. From this ancient root, electro has evolved to denote a wide range of concepts primarily related to electricity and its various applications. The core meaning, therefore, revolves around phenomena involving electric charge, current, and fields. Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary. Electro in physics and engineering. In the fields of physics and engineering, electro is a ubiquitous prefix used to describe phenomena, devices, and disciplines related to electricity. Electricity and electromagnetism. At its most fundamental level, electro refers to electricity itself. This encompasses the study of electric charge, electric fields, electric potential, and electric current. The Feynman Lectures on Physics, the interaction between electricity and magnetism, known as electromagnetism, is a cornerstone of modern physics and is often denoted by terms like electromagnetic waves, electromagnetic spectrum, and electromagnetic induction. University physics. Electronic components and systems. In electrical engineering, electro frequently precedes terms describing components and systems that utilize electricity for control, communication, and computation. Examples include electronics, the branch of engineering that deals with the control of electric current through semiconductor devices and circuits. McGraw-Hill Encyclopedia of Science and Technology. Electromechanical, pertaining to devices or systems that combine electrical and mechanical principles, such as electric motors and generators. Standard Handbook for Electrical Engineers. Electro-optical, describing devices or systems that convert electrical signals into optical signals or vice versa, such as LEDs and photodiodes. Handbook of Optics. Specific electrical phenomena. Electro also appears in terms describing specific electrical phenomena. Electrolysis, the chemical decomposition of a substance by an electric current. Chemistry, the central science. Electrophoresis, the movement of charged particles in a fluid or gel under the influence of an electric field. Biochemistry. Electrostatics, the study of stationary electric charges and their interactions. Fundamentals of physics. Electro in chemistry. In chemistry, Electro is primarily associated with processes involving electron transfer and the generation or consumption of electrical energy. Electrochemistry. Electrochemistry is the branch of chemistry concerned with the interconversion of electrical and chemical energy. This includes the study of galvanic cells, batteries, electrolytic cells, and corrosion. Physical chemistry, key terms include electrode, a conductor through which electricity enters or leaves an electrolyte. Hawley's Condensed Chemical Dictionary. Electrolyte, a substance that produces an electrically conducting solution when dissolved in a polar solvent, such as water. General chemistry. Electronegativity, a measure of the tendency of an atom to attract a bonding pair of electrons. Inorganic chemistry. Electro in biology and medicine. In biology and medicine, electro refers to the electrical activity within living organisms and the diagnostic or therapeutic applications of electricity. Bioelectricity. Living organisms generate and utilize electrical signals for various physiological processes. Principles of neural science. Electrocardiogram, ECG/EKG, a recording of the electrical activity of the heart. Guyton and Hall Textbook of Medical Physiology. Electroencephalogram, EEG, a recording of the electrical activity of the brain. Candle's Principles of Neuroscience. Electromyogram, EMG, a recording of the electrical activity produced by skeletal muscles. Medical physiology. Electrophysiology, the study of the electrical properties of biological cells and tissues. Comprehensive physiology. Medical applications. Electricity is also used in various medical treatments and diagnostic procedures. Electroconvulsive therapy, ECT, a medical procedure in which a brief application of electric stimulus is used to induce a generalized seizure. Kaplan and Sadok's Comprehensive Textbook of Psychiatry. Electrocautery, the use of a high-frequency electric current to cut or destroy tissue. Surgical instruments, a pocket guide. Electrosurgery, the use of high-frequency electrical current to cut, coagulate, desiccate, or fulgurate tissue. Principles of surgery. Electro in music and culture. While less directly scientific, the term electro has also found a significant place in music and popular culture, primarily referring to a genre of electronic music. Electro music. Electro is a genre of electronic dance music that emerged in the early 1980s, characterized by its use of drum machines, particularly the Roland TR-808, synthesizers, and often robotic or vocoded vocals. Last Night a DJ Saved My Life, the history of the disc jockey. It is distinct from other electronic genres by its specific rhythmic patterns and sonic aesthetic. Ocean of sound, ether talk, ambient sound and imaginary worlds. Interpreting. Do you have any extra electro? Given the multifaceted nature of electro, the question "do you have any extra electro?" is highly context dependent. Without additional information, it is impossible to definitively determine what the speaker is asking for. However, based on the established meanings, we can infer several possibilities. Electrical energy/power, the most common and intuitive interpretation, especially in a casual setting, might be a request for spare electrical power, perhaps in the form of batteries, a power bank, or access to an electrical outlet. This aligns with the fundamental meaning of electro as electricity. The New Shorter Oxford English Dictionary. Electronic components. In a technical or engineering context, electro could refer to spare electronic components, such as resistors, capacitors, wires, or even a specific circuit board. The art of electronics. Specific chemical reagents. In a chemistry lab, it might refer to an electrolyte solution or other electrochemically active substances. CRC Handbook of Chemistry and Physics. Medical supplies/equipment. In a medical setting, though less likely to be phrased so colloquially, it could hypothetically refer to spare electrodes for an ECG, EEG, or other electrophysiological monitoring. Dorland's Illustrated Medical Dictionary. Music/sound equipment. If the context is related to music production or performance, electro could be a shorthand for electronic music equipment, such as a synthesizer, drum machine, or even a specific sound sample or track. Keyboard magazine. The ambiguity highlights the importance of context in linguistic interpretation, especially when dealing with terms that have broad scientific and cultural applications. The question, therefore, serves as an excellent example of how a seemingly simple query can open up a vast array of potential meanings, each rooted in established academic and technical discourse. Her will run the world and love herself, appears to be a fragmented and grammatically unconventional query. To provide a comprehensive and detailed explanation using only authoritative and credible print encyclopedias, published nonfiction books, academic journals, and dictionaries, it is necessary to deconstruct the query into its constituent concepts and address them individually. The core concepts that can be inferred are, her, run the world, and love herself. The concept of her. In the context of language, her is a pronoun, specifically a third-person singular feminine objective pronoun. It refers to a female person or animal previously mentioned or easily identified, Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary. From a philosophical and sociological perspective, the concept of her can be expanded to encompass the broader understanding of women, femininity, and the roles and experiences associated with these identities. Throughout history, the position and perception of her have varied significantly across cultures and epochs, the Oxford Companion to Philosophy. Feminist theory, a significant academic discipline, has extensively analyzed the social construction of her and the power dynamics that shape her existence. Early feminist thinkers, such as Simone de Beauvoir, explored how women have been historically defined in relation to men, often as the other, the second sex. This perspective highlights how societal structures and cultural narratives have historically limited the agency and self-definition of her. Later feminist scholarship has further diversified these analyses, examining the intersectionality of gender with race, class, and other social categories, demonstrating that the experience of her is not monolithic but shaped by a multitude of factors: Black feminist thought, knowledge, consciousness, and the politics of empowerment. The concept of run the world. The phrase run the world implies a position of power, control, and governance over global affairs. This concept can be analyzed through various lenses: political science, history, sociology, and economics. From a political science perspective, running the world can refer to the exercise of global hegemony by a particular state or a collective of states, or the influence of international organizations, the Oxford Handbook of International Relations. Historically, various empires and powers have aspired to or achieved periods of global dominance, often through military, economic, or cultural influence. A history of the world in 100 objects. The idea of a single entity running the world is often associated with theories of global governance, international law, and the balance of power among nations. Sociologically, the concept can also refer to the influence of dominant social groups, ideologies, or economic systems that shape global trends and structures. For instance, the rise of capitalism and globalization has been described as a force that runs the world by shaping economic relations and cultural exchanges across borders. Capital in the 21st century. When combined with her, the phrase "her will run the world" introduces the idea of women in positions of ultimate global power. Historically, women have been largely excluded from such positions. However, the 20th and 21st centuries have seen an increasing, though still limited, number of women ascending to leadership roles in politics, business, and international organizations. Women, Power, and Politics: The Fight for Gender Equality in the United States. The implications of her running the world are a subject of ongoing debate and speculation within feminist discourse and political theory. Some argue that women's leadership might bring different perspectives and priorities to global governance, potentially leading to more collaborative or peaceful approaches, while others caution against essentializing gender and emphasize the diversity of leadership styles regardless of gender and international relations. The concept of end. The term end can signify cessation, termination, a final point, or a conclusion, Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary. In a broader philosophical and existential sense, the end can refer to the ultimate fate of humanity, the planet, or the universe. Cosmologically, the end of the world or the universe is a subject of scientific inquiry, with theories ranging from the Big Crunch to the Big Freeze or heat death, cosmos. These theories describe the potential ultimate fate of the physical universe based on current scientific understanding. From a human perspective, the end can also refer to the collapse of civilizations, societal transformations, or the conclusion of historical eras. Throughout history, various cultures have grappled with apocalyptic narratives and prophecies concerning the end of days, the encyclopedia of religion. These narratives often reflect anxieties about societal decay, moral decline, or external threats. In the context of the query, will run the world end is grammatically ambiguous. It could imply, will her running the world end? This would question the duration or sustainability of women's global leadership. Will the world end when she runs it? This suggests a causal link between women's leadership and global catastrophe, a notion that lacks empirical support and often stems from misogynistic biases. Will the world end and she will run it? This implies a scenario where, despite or because of an impending end, her assumes control. Given the lack of clarity, it is crucial to address the potential interpretations. The idea that women's leadership would inherently lead to the end of the world is not supported by any credible academic or scientific literature. Instead, such a notion often reflects historical biases and fears surrounding shifts in power dynamics. The concept of love herself. Love herself refers to the concept of self-love, self-esteem, and self-acceptance. This is a psychological and philosophical concept that emphasizes the importance of an individual's positive regard for their own being, worth, and well-being, the Oxford Handbook of Positive Psychology. Psychologically, self-love is considered a crucial component of mental health and emotional resilience. It involves recognizing one's own value, setting healthy boundaries, and engaging in self-care practices, Handbook of Self-Regulation, Research, Theory, and Applications. Lack of self-love can manifest as low self-esteem, self-criticism, and a susceptibility to external validation. Philosophically, the concept of self-love has been explored by various thinkers. Ancient Greek philosophers, such as Aristotle, discussed the importance of philia, friendship, and how it extends to self-love as a foundation for a virtuous life, Nicomachean Ethics. In modern thought, self-love is often linked to concepts of authenticity, personal growth, and individual liberation. When connected to her and the idea of running the world, the concept of love herself takes on additional layers of meaning. For women, particularly in societies that have historically devalued or constrained their roles, cultivating self-love can be an act of empowerment and resistance. The beauty myth, how images of beauty are used against women. If her were to run the world, her capacity for self-love could be interpreted as a prerequisite for effective and ethical leadership. A leader who genuinely loves and respects herself might be better equipped to lead with integrity, empathy, and a focus on the well-being of others, as opposed to leaders driven by insecurity or a need for external validation. Conversely, a lack of self-love could lead to destructive leadership patterns. Synthesizing the query's components. Given the fragmented nature of the query, a direct, singular answer is not possible. Instead, we must consider the potential interpretations and address them based on the authoritative sources. If the query implies, will women, her, eventually run the world, and will this lead to them loving themselves, or will they need to love themselves to do so? Women running the world. While women's representation in leadership roles is increasing, achieving a state where her will run the world in a comprehensive sense is a complex and ongoing process. It would require significant societal shifts, including overcoming systemic barriers, challenging gender stereotypes, and ensuring equitable access to education, resources, and power structures, gender and global politics. There is no definitive prediction in academic literature that women will universally run the world, but rather an ongoing discussion about the implications and desirability of greater gender equality in leadership. Love herself as a prerequisite or outcome. The ability to love herself is widely considered a fundamental aspect of individual well-being and effective leadership. If women were to run the world, their capacity for self-love would likely be a crucial factor in their leadership effectiveness and resilience. Conversely, achieving positions of global power could also be seen as an outcome that fosters self-love and empowerment for women collectively, by validating their capabilities and challenging historical narratives of subordination. If the query implies, will the world end, and will her be in charge during or after this end, and will she love herself? The world ending, as discussed, the end of the world can refer to various scenarios, from cosmological events to societal collapse. There is no credible evidence to suggest a causal link between women's leadership and any form of global catastrophe. Her in charge during/after the end, this scenario is speculative and falls more within the realm of dystopian or post-apocalyptic fiction than academic analysis. However, if such an event were to occur, the qualities of leadership, including self-love and resilience, would be paramount for any individual or group attempting to navigate or rebuild.